Hi everyone, and welcome to this JQuery video series. This is part 1, Getting Started. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is set up a project environment to help us manage all of the different files in our project work. So I'm just going to make a new folder, and this is going to be my intro to JQuery folder, and inside this folder I'm going to make another folder which is going to be used to store my images. There's my images folder, and I'm going to make another folder as well which may or may not be familiar to you, called CSS, and we'll look at how to use this as we go through this tutorial series. In my intro to jQuery folder I'm also going to create a web page file. So let's go to my text editor. I'm using Notepad++. File new, let's do save as. Wow, so I'm gone straight into my intro to jQuery project folder. Brilliant. This is going to be index.html. So this is going to be my homepage file. We'll save that. And I'm also going to make another new file and save it as a CSS style sheet file, and I'm going to save that in my CSS folder. So this is going to be called, let's call it styles, and this is going to be a CSS file. Now you may not be familiar with how to use CSS files, or you may be familiar, I don't know, but we'll look at how to use a linked CSS file in a web design project in this tutorial series. So we'll save that. So let's just go back to my folder system. I now have in my intro to jQuery folder, I have an index file, I have an empty images folder at the moment, and I have a CSS folder with a CSS file there waiting to be used. Okay, so let's go back to my index.html. Very quickly I'm just going to type up the basic structure of pretty much every web page on planet Earth. We need a body section, and we're going to close the body section. Brilliant. Okay, now I'm going to link to that CSS file that I created. Can I remember how to do this? No. So let's go to my wonderful friend, the internet. Link to what should we call this? Link to CSS in HTML. Okay, that might do it. That's what I'm looking for. Just going to copy that, paste it into the head section of my web page. So this link, it links to a style sheet, and the hyperlink reference, the path to get from index to my style sheet. Well, to get from index to the style sheet I have to go through the CSS folder, and that's where I'll find styles.css. Okay, so in Notepad, the path, I have to go into the CSS folder and I'd find the styles.css file. Brilliant. Okay, now this is jQuery, and I'm also going to be using Bootstrap. So in the head section of my web page I also want to link to all of the Bootstrap CSS files and any jQuery linked files to make my project work. I definitely can't remember how to type those up, so what I usually do is back to the internet, W3 schools. An easy place for me to find it is to go to Bootstrap in W3 schools. It's just a place where I know to get the linked files. Let's go to the Get Started section and scroll down. to the content development network. And here we've got links to Bootstrap's style sheet file, which we need if we want to use Bootstrap, and also it gives me the link to JQuery's JavaScript libraries that we will be using in this project. So I'm just going to copy all of this stuff and paste it into the head section, into the head of my web page. Okay, and I will probably never touch this stuff again during the project. And that is good to go. What we've done is we've created a folder system, new project folder, we have our web page ready to use, we've got a CSS file which we'll be using in the project, and in our web page we've linked to the style sheet file, that's my style sheet file, and also linked to Bootstrap and jQuery CSS and JavaScript files. Brilliant.